What's up, everybody? This is Craig from 9 Volt Games, and today I am doing another retro review for boom, Sparkster, The Rocket Knight Adventures Part 2. It doesn't actually say on the cart itself, but this is Rocket Knight Adventures 2. Now, there is another version of this for the Super Nintendo, and it's just called Sparkster, and it is not part of the main Rocket Knight story. So, don't be confused with that one. And that actually relies more on him being a possum than Jetpack and Badass. I mean, it's still a good game. They're all good games, but it's definitely not as good as this one. In fact, I believe this one to be the best in the entire series. In this nicely sandwiched between Rocket Knight, which I did a review for last time, and the Rocket Knight, which is the HD one for the Xbox Live Arcade, the PlayStation Network, and Steam. And that's what I'll be doing a review for next week. So, how does it start off? Well, it starts off right where the last one ends, where Rocket Knight ends, and that's you overthrow the pig empire who's trying to take over your kingdom of Zephyrus, and you get back Prince Cherry. And then the beginning of this one is interesting because you can actually play through the cutscene, and that's you fighting Axel Gear in a mech suit where you do punches like Rock'em Sock'em robots. So it's a nice little boxing mini game. You don't have to play through it. You can actually press start and skip it, but if you want to play through it, you can. And then when that part ends and you actually go into stage 1, which you're probably seeing on the video right now, Axel Gear swoops down, knocks you out, takes Princess Cherry, and then leaves again. So you need to go and find her, and then you find out that there's actually goblins everywhere, and that's because he, has been freed by King Gedol. I think it's Gedol. I'm not sure if it's Gedol or Gedol, but here, sprinkle some letters down there. That's what his name is. It actually makes sense if it was King Gedol. Anyways, the king of the goblins, and he basically wants to take over your empire. The final boss is King Gedol. He's a giant goblin in a cloak, and you can switch bodies with you, and that's a pretty interesting boss fight. It was actually a little bit anticlimactic. Kind of have to put the game on hard to get a challenge out of it. But I do think that the game was great, and you get to fight Axel Gear before it. You get to have a nice one-on-one hand fight, sword fight, and it was good. It kept a lot of conventions of the first game. A lot of big changes happened, but good changes. There's only the game is entirely platformer, and there's only one side-scrolling flying scene. But the one big change that I liked about it is you don't have to charge your jetpack like you did in Rocket Knight. Your jetpack will charge automatically, and when it's fully charged, you do like a corkscrew move, which is cool because some things need to be unscrewed, some enemies need to only be hit with the corkscrew move, and it's definitely pretty cool. Your sword will you can get a flame ability every 10 gems. You have an item drop. It's like a slot machine. And then you could get a flame thing that makes your sword flammable. You would obviously do more damage. The other thing, this was a big convention of the game that was different. They added this thing, and it's the only Sparkster game that has this, or the only Rocket Knight game that has this. You actually can turn into Super Sparkster, aka Golden Sparkster, and you have to do that by completing the 6 hidden worlds, getting the 7. I think it's called the 7 swords, and you become the Golden Sparkster. And that's the only way to actually unlock the true ending of the game. So, there's definitely a replayability. I mean, you gotta know where the secrets are in this game. I mean, I haven't played this game easily 15 years. I still think that it's great. I absolutely love this game, and I think that anybody who collects games should definitely have this in their collection. I don't know, man. I just think it's one of the greatest side-scrolling platformers of all time. It's definitely my favorite Sega Genesis game, so it's going to get the bias, but I'm giving this obviously 5 out of 5 because this is a perfect game. This is a perfect game, and I mean, I beat it twice last night. You can fly through this game so easy, and like I said, I haven't played it in 15 years, and I just, right on. Like, the controls are so tight. I mean, the graphics are decent. The music is awesome. By the way, the music is made by Akira Yamaoka, the guy, or Akira, the guy who made all the music for Silent Hill, so it was kind of like a foretelling of what my future was going to be and how much I was going to love Konami and I was going to love Akira, and it also just proves out the rule that me and Dan were saying, or Dan and I were saying that Konami's number 2s of their series are always the best, and that proved true with Silent Hill, Suikoden, Rocket Knight. I even think Metal Gear 2 is better. Zone of the Enders, if you count Super C as Contra 2, I think that one was better. So, definitely. Oh, Dan also likes Simon's Quest better than regular Castlevania. But, you know, Konami does the best number 2, so you definitely should check this out. And if you're a Super Nintendo person, play the Super Nintendo one, but I'll tell you, the Super Nintendo one is not as good as this game. That's all I can say about that. But thank you for watching. Go get this game if you can find it. It is a little more pricey than the other ones. 5 out of 5. Awesome platformer. Great music. It's really tight controls. Nice sprites. Decent difficulty level. Everything that you could want out of a classic game. So, check it out. Sparkster. Rocket Knight Adventures 2. Thank you for watching.